So, hello people. Once again, this is your main man, your soul brother, number one, of course. Yours most truly, St. David, coming to you as usual with the everlasting gospel, the truth that will set you free. Try the truth that will make this earth the paradise that is supposed to be, the Garden of Eden, which is intended to be. That's right. The truth that recognizes God in all forms of His manifestation, in all forms of creation. That's right. The truth that recognizes God in the seas and in the rivers, in the trees, in the plants, in the butterflies, in the birds, and in the sea, and in everything that we see. I'm sure your good book tells you that it is in Him that we live and move and have our being. So if we are living in God and having our being and moving in Him, then why don't we recognize that everything that we see around us is divine? It is because we are hooked on the understanding of God that took our forefathers into slavery, one that is destructive and divisive. Instead of embracing all manifestations of life as divine, revering them, learning from them, they set out to destroy everything, to hegemonize their conception of God. They want to turn the beauty of dazzling and beautiful colors manifested in nature into a bland black and white vision. You see, that's terrible. Okay? Now, if we see God in everything and understand that we live and move and have our being in Him, we wouldn't have a division that is created by religion. That's right. Because of this division, we are currently at the verge of a third world war. Because we have a people who say they are and are not. And their God has empowered them to go to other people's nations, kill them, do all kinds of horrible things to them, and take over their land. This has been their signature, their modus operandi, since they took over Australia and wiped out the Aborigines, since they took over North America and did the same thing. In present day, this whole thing is playing out in its typical signature and DNA. And the world is at the verge of a third world war, because there is an understanding and relationship of and conception of God which divides the world and sets us against each other, which empowers us to go around killing other people. This can never be my understanding of God. It does not resonate with my DNA. And I know that it is anti-God, because it is against God's creation. It is against nature. Now, any conception of God, whether it be it religion or an ideology that runs counter and is destructive to our environment, to our bodies, to the very manifestations of nature, is certainly devilish, anti-nature, and must be treated with the contempt that it deserves. This is my unequivocal and blunt submission, and I challenge you, yes, to debate me on it. Whatever I have said is the stark, ugly, and naked truth, which you desperately need to zap you out of the comatose in which you are. You have become so lethargic as a result of the post-traumatic syndrome that you have inherited transgenerationally over the period of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism. And it is critical now, at the time when everybody is waking up, to zap you out, to ruffle your feathers, to get you upset, you understand, so that you can wake up from that death-like sleep and slumber that has made you accept slavery as your lot. Isn't it in the Bible that slaves should be obedient to their masters? Yeah, in this age and time, when humanity have realized that slavery is ungodly, it is still firmly embedded in the Quran and the Bible, isn't it? So this is what it is. This is what you are holding on. This is what will finally take this world into the third world war, the Armageddon that they have forced us to envisage. They have created the fertile grounds and environment for it to happen. And now everybody is looking up to the destruction of the world, because no wonder the world is in the stranglehold of a divisive and destructive virus called religion. It is not for nothing that religion is called the opium of the masses, isn't it? Except that it is worse than opium. It is your worst kind of crack. You know, the one that makes you go haywire. You lose your mind and you go on a rampage, desecrating nature and destroying God's manifestation. That is what religion is. It is certainly the opium of the masses. And we must realize it for what it is. Okay? Yes. We the Nubians. That's right. The descendants of the patriarchs of the first world civilization in Kemet. We have always been naturalists. And we have known that true knowledge comes from within. The kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of God within the butterflies is what enables them to migrate across the Atlantic, produce, have children, and come back in the next season with their inner compass. They didn't have to attend any formal schooling or have any formal education. This is what makes the fish also migrate in the sea with their inner compass and do all the wonderful things that they do. The animals do the same. Yes, and so do we human beings have our DNA, which if left unstifled, will express itself more than the jaw-dropping nest that you see the birds building as a result of the kingdom of God that is buried within them. But what do you see? We have these hegemonies, big-headed hegemonies, on a rampage, misguided adventurists. Going about with the intention of hegemonizing their tunneled and narrow perspective and understanding of this source energy. And that is why you and I find ourselves in the present predicament. The world is at the verge of destruction because of this divisive and destructive relationship to source, or the planetary intelligence, or what primitive and religious people call God. And I, St. David, I'm here to point it out to you and to show you that God is everything, and He is the one in which we live and move and have our being. I'll prove to you scientifically, that's right, and according to the immutable laws of nature, I will prove it to you. So this is the everlasting gospel coming to you from the choicest part of this planet as usual. That's right, where you should expect the everlasting gospel, the best that will set you free. Of course, from yours most truly, St. David. Catch you later, people.